People, I know this is gonna seem harsh, but it gotta be said. Think about what it would look like if Satan was pointing his finger at Cain for killing Abel and saying, "Ooh, look what you did. You're a murderer. You did bad. You're a bad person." But think about that. Think about if Satan himself was pointing the finger at Cain for killing Abel. What do you think Cain's going to do? Yeah, he's going to look at him and say, "You're Satan. What business do you have pointing the finger at me?" Yeah, you know how crazy that looks? It looks crazy. I know it does. That's how people look when they point the finger at Christians, the church as a whole, and Christianity as a whole. When they point the finger at them, meanwhile, they're living their life of sin every single day. And they have no plans to stop, no plans to slow down or fight the sin in any way, shape, or form. They have no plans to do that. But they still have time to point the finger at the church, Christians, and Christianity as a whole. They still got time for that, though. Let me tell you something. People, pointing your finger at the church and Christians because they made you feel bad about the sin that you chose over God, that's not going to save you. And let me say this, you could be right. The people that you're pointing your finger at, you could be absolutely right about them. You could be absolutely telling the truth about them, but telling the truth about them ain't going to save your soul. Okay? That's not going to save you. You have to do what God says as well. You have to actually practice what you preach too. You got to take the log out of your own eye as well. As anybody who remotely believes in God, if you got time to point your finger at Christians, if you got time to judge the church and Christianity as a whole, then you got time to work on your own life. You got time to fight the sin that you struggle with. If you even trying to struggle with it. If you trying to fight against it. You got time to do that. Complaining that, oh, the church is full of liars, they're full of cheaters, and I can't go to church because they full of hypocrites. The church is a bad place. They the main ones. They're the main ones that's sinning. The church is the worst of the worst. Meanwhile, you still go to work full of liars, full of cheaters, full of the same type of people that you claim is in the church, and you still happily go there. You still go to that job. You still are friends with the same type of friend group that you condemning in the church. You still go to that same friend group that love to gossip about other people. You still go to that same friend group that are talking behind each other's back. You still go to that same friend group that don't even struggle with their sin. They give in every single time happily. You still go to that same friend group that do the same thing you complain is wrong with the church. You still go to them. You still go to that job. You still got stuff in your own life. Talking about how religion is a scam and how Christianity is man-made and they got problems, and how you can't subscribe to an organized religion but you can be spiritual, that's not going to save your soul. Pointing out the problems in all these other things isn't going to save your soul. That's not going to save you. The Lord isn't going to be looking at a Christian and saying, oh, you knew better. You knew better. You read the word, you saw what it said, you knew what you were supposed to do, and you didn't do it. Oh, but you right here, who you didn't go to church because it was full of hypocrites and liars and stuff. The sin that you were doing, that's fine. It's small sin. That's small sin. You can come to heaven. No, that's not how it works. You are going to be in the same boat as that person you complained about. If you got all this sin in your own life and you complaining about all these Christians and all these church people, guess what? You in the same boat as them. You need to fix your own life. Just because they made you feel bad about the sin that you love to choose over God, that don't save your soul. That doesn't save you. You have to do work for your own life too. No, the judgment isn't going to go light on sin. There is no little sin. How do you think God is going to see the sin that you do every day? Why you got so much mouth about other people? How do you think God is going to see the sin that you do? You think he's going to say, oh, well, I'm the only one that can judge. I'm the only one that can judge, so you're not as bad as the other sinners. No, sin is sin. And if you are repeatedly, every day, unrepentantly choosing sin over God, choosing to gossip over God, choosing to lie over God, choosing to cheat and do all this other stuff, choosing to do your selective form of drug over God, if you doing that over God, if you doing all this stuff, choose the sin that you struggle with, if you struggle with it all. If you keep doing that and choosing that over the Lord, he's not going to go light on you just because you avoided the liars and the hypocrites in church. That just makes you one of them. You just not in church. I'll say it again. Pointing out other people's flaws isn't gonna save you. That's just as dumb as Satan pointing the finger at Cain. Meanwhile, he's Satan. Complaining about other people and their problems isn't gonna save your soul. You need to get right too. You need to do the work too. I'm just saying, if you got all this mouth about Christianity and the church and all these Christians and how, the pastor's kids will be the worst ones. If you got so much mouth, I want to see what your life looking like. I want to see how perfect an example you are for the Lord. If you got so much mouth for all these other people, I expect your life to be spotless. I'm just saying, people. There is no big sin, little sin at the judgment. Sin is going to be sin. And you need to get your own life in order before you start pointing the finger at other people.